Sometimes the most unexpected heroes emerge from the shadows when everything seems to be falling apart. But here's what nobody saw coming. A backup quarterback's career-defining moment would completely flip the script on what was supposed to be a marquee matchup between two rising Big 12 stars. When Texas Tech traveled to face Utah this past Saturday, all eyes were focused on the anticipated quarterback duel between Utah's Devin Dampier and the Red Raiders' Behren Morton. Both signal callers had been lighting up scoreboards through the season's opening 3 weeks, establishing themselves as emerging forces in the competitive Big 12 landscape. Yet by the final whistle of the 17th-ranked Red Raiders' commanding 34-10 triumph over the 16th-ranked Utes at Rice-Eppel Stadium, an entirely different name was dominating the conversation. Enter Will Hammond, a redshirt freshman from Austin, who transformed from sideline observer to game-changer in the span of a single half. When Morton absorbed a crushing hit from Utah linebacker Jonathan Hall during Texas Tech's opening possession of the third quarter, Hammond was suddenly thrust into the spotlight of a ranked matchup on the road. And this is where the story gets really interesting. What happened next defied every expectation. The initial signs weren't promising for the young quarterback. Hammond's first 3 drives resulted in punts, and you could almost feel the momentum shifting toward the home team. But here's the part most people miss about backup quarterbacks. They often possess a different kind of hunger, a chip on their shoulder that starters sometimes lack. Hammond exemplified this perfectly. While the game featured a staggering 6 turnovers, 4 costly mistakes by Utah, including 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions, plus 2 picks thrown by the injured Morton, Hammond protected the football with the precision of a veteran. More impressively, he demonstrated an ability to connect on deep routes that kept drives alive and defenses honest. "He's a dude, man," Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire said of his backup quarterback, and you could hear the genuine admiration in his voice. "The one thing we really believe in, and I understand this might sound like typical coach speak to some people, but our standard never changes. When you step onto that field wearing the double T, there's only one acceptable way to perform. You execute the game plan to perfection." McGuire continued with obvious pride, "I thought he did an outstanding job out there, and we've got some incredible playmakers around him. Utah was going to give us some one-on-one matchup opportunities, and we were able to capitalize on those moments and win enough battles to really extend our lead and secure the victory." But here's where it gets controversial. Was Hammond actually the better choice all along? His performance raises some uncomfortable questions about playing time distribution and whether talented backups are being underutilized across college football. The turning point came during a methodical drive that bridged the end of the third quarter and the opening of the fourth. Hammond orchestrated a field goal march that pushed Texas Tech's advantage to 13-3, sparked by a clutch 33-yard strike to Caleb Douglas on a crucial 3rd and 10 situation that positioned the Red Raiders at Utah's 27-yard line. After the Utes managed their lone touchdown to narrow the gap to 13-10 with 10:22 remaining on the clock, Hammond and the Texas Tech offensive unit shifted into a completely different gear. The young quarterback opened the subsequent drive with an electrifying 32-yard scramble, showcasing mobility that added a new dimension to the Red Raiders' attack. Texas Tech capitalized on this momentum when Hammond delivered a perfect 24-yard touchdown strike to tight end Terrence Carter Jr. Following a quick 3-and-out by Utah's struggling offense, the Red Raiders continued their relentless march downfield. Running back Jeremiah Dickey punctuated the drive with a decisive 24-yard scoring sprint with 3:41 left on the game clock, pushing the lead to 27-10 and effectively putting the contest out of reach. The final dagger came after Dampier threw an interception during a desperate 4th down attempt in Utah territory. Hammond calmly found Reggie Vigil for a 21-yard touchdown pass that sealed the blowout victory and sent the Texas Tech traveling contingent into celebration mode. Contrary to what some might assume, Hammond isn't completely inexperienced in high-pressure situations. The redshirt freshman appeared in 4 games during the previous season and even earned the starting nod for the team's bowl game matchup against Arkansas. This background experience clearly showed in his composure during Saturday's crucial moments. His efficiency in the closing stages was particularly remarkable. Hammond completed his final 5 pass attempts of the day, with each completion gaining at least 10 yards and including 2 touchdown strikes of 20-plus yards. This level of precision under pressure suggests he might be ready for a larger role than many anticipated. Hammond, who had already seen limited action in the first half when Morton dealt with some minor bumps and bruises, spoke about feeling the complete confidence of his coaching staff when called upon to face Utah's notoriously aggressive defense that has frustrated numerous opposing quarterbacks this season. That level of trust gives you the confidence to go out there and just be yourself, Hammond explained, his voice reflecting both humility and quiet confidence. And this is the part most people miss. There's a deeply personal subplot to Hammond's heroic performance that adds another layer to this already compelling story. The young quarterback, who is a devoted member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, essentially got to play a home game in enemy territory. Hammond revealed that between 30 and 35 members of his extended family were in attendance at Rice-Eccles Stadium, all residing in Utah, the same state that serves as headquarters for his faith. All my aunts, uncles, grandparents, and cousins live here in Utah, Hammond shared with obvious excitement. My oldest brother's wife is expecting a baby in December, so they were having a baby shower. It was just perfect timing for everyone to come out and watch. I'm really looking forward to spending more time with them after the game. This season, Hammond has appeared in every contest for Texas Tech, typically earning playing time during garbage time situations in the Red Raiders' first 3 games before being thrust into a much more significant role when Morton's injury occurred. But here's what makes his story even more intriguing. Coach McGuire has been preparing him for exactly this type of moment. McGuire praised Hammond for completely mastering his role when the opportunity presented itself, while emphasizing that his previous game experience proved invaluable. Rather than simply asking Hammond to hand off the ball during blowout victories, Texas Tech has been running their full offensive system even in mop-up time. He's extremely mature beyond his years. He understands exactly what his role is on this team right now, and that's being our backup quarterback, McGuire explained. But when he enters the game, we're going to run our complete offense. You look back at week 1, week 2, week 3. There are plenty of coaches who might come out when you're up by 50 points, or whatever the margin might be, and they don't run their real offense. They just hand the ball off and try to get through the remaining time. McGuire continued with obvious strategic foresight. That's one approach we deliberately avoided. Will has been coming in and executing our actual game plan at a high level, so we fully expected him to do exactly that today. The one additional element he brings to our offense is that we're going to utilize him more in the quarterback run game, and that really helped today because it added another defender we had to account for and kept our drives moving. But here's the question that's going to spark debate. Should Hammond be getting more opportunities even when Morton is healthy? His performance suggests he might be capable of pushing for the starting position, which raises uncomfortable questions about depth chart politics and whether the best player is always on the field. What do you think? Was this just a one-game fluke, or does Hammond deserve serious consideration for expanded playing time? Should backup quarterbacks who perform at this level be rewarded with more opportunities, even if it means benching a healthy starter? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This kind of performance always ignites passionate debates about merit versus seniority in college football.